Welcome to another episode of the Zero to Hero series. I got to the point where the game doesn't forgive mistakes anymore, especially the tongue busters. And now I actually had to read mob's abilities and expect every tongue buster, bleed, etc. And in this episode, I open 2 vaults, I start with 13 keys, I get to plus 14, I attempt a couple of plus 15 dungeons, and I deplete a lot of keys. I died a lot of times. I didn't have a defensive on tongue busters. I got killed from behind. I discovered new tongue busters I had no idea about. Did I manage to time all 14s and a plus 15? Sit back and relax. I will take you through the journey with me. But before we start, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. I start my morning routine with opening the vault. Mythic gloves, shield, and a chest. I picked the chest, it has more stats than the other 2 options. Also, turbo boost happened, I recrafted my sword and shield to get 7 eye levels. I listed my own plus 13 streets, and it was a quick run plus 17 Rio. Gambit 13 is next on the list. I get 14 Rio. I went to holes next, even though we had 0 deaths, we barely beat the timer, only 5 Rio. Dawnbreaker is next in line. I just noticed that the mobs on the side of the ship can be tagged, and they just spam bolts at me, and they do a lot of damage. 20 minutes later and I get 17 Rio. Are plus 13 too easy for me now? In Priory, I was so focused on not losing up time on the boss while Soak would bubble the orbs that I forgot about baiting the void zones first. I get 13 Rio. Ara Kara is my next stop. I actually didn't know that you can remove the stacks with a freedom. It made this zone so much easier. 23 Rio and I get the resilient key for plus 13 dungeons. It's time to push plus 14 keys. Holes, as being one of the easiest dungeons, I decided to start with that key. Quick and easy plus 18 Rio. I now have 3116 Rio. Feeling super confident, I decided to run my plus 15 Floodgate. I've been here a lot of times, muscle memory kicks in, I don't even think. My movement is effortless. I get the pack together, press bubble, wings, and start pumping. I was surprised to see that most of the first pull I was stopping the DPS chart. Someone body pulled a spider and kicking its cast distracted me a lot. Once Bloodlust expired and the ads weren't dying. I should have pressed another defensive, but looks like I'm not ready for plus 15s yet. Well, plus 14 Floodgate it is. After the deplete, my movement got so much worse. The confidence disappeared and I'm trying to pull myself together. We killed the Big Mama boss, one of the most complicated parts of this dungeon was behind us. Nothing can stop us now. Except for this pack. The ogre does a lot of damage. We quickly run back and barely kill the pack. I pulled 3 ads to the 3rd boss. I'm getting ready for the waves when all of a sudden healer dies. I didn't know what happened. After the run, I looked at the details, turned out he stepped on the mine. While I was trying to dodge the waves, save my teammates and rest the healer, I missed the tank buster that one-tapped me. That was my bad. I had bubble of CD. Anyway, we vote to abandon the run. And just like that, all my confidence just disappeared. I didn't want to run keys anymore. I thought I was just terrible tank and this game was not for me. But then I took a break and started craving running M+ keys. I think I'm a bit addicted to running dungeons. Gambit 14 is where I go next. The soak and arrows overlap on the last boss is the only challenging thing on the last boss. Clean run, plus 12 Rio. The Dawnbreaker 14 is next. Only while I'm rewatching the VOD I noticed that I actually tag extra ads that spam bolts. And it's actually making the run much more difficult. A couple of deaths and we barely made it through the pack. The ads at the side of the ship are annoying. The last boss is at low HP, only 0.7% left. With 36 seconds on the timer we can actually time this. The TK reacted too slowly with the wave and killed the shaman, minus 15 seconds and 1 DPS player. We didn't have enough DPS. And after half an hour in this dungeon only to deplete it like that, it's very disappointing. Even though the weak aura in the middle of the screen in caps saying tongue buster in 3, 2, 1. I didn't know that the beams and intermission is actually a tongue buster. When I didn't have any defensive procs, for some reason the weak aura didn't warn me about the last tongue buster and I didn't press anything and I just got one-tapped. Luckily the boss was at low HP. This time around we actually timed the key, plus 11 Rio. Priory 14 is next on the list. Running keys when you don't know all the dangerous abilities is interesting. At that time, I had no idea how the second mini-boss's jump that inflicts bleed worked. We were just standing there stacked to get the debuff. Also, the healer said that these pools are a grief. Also, I didn't know that the mini-bosses get extra HP when they are close to the boss. I'm just clearly standing there and not understanding why all of my teammates are spamming back, mover. It took me a while to get it away. I feel like an idiot rewatching the VOD. To gather this pack, I used my last heavy defensive, so I had nothing after it expired. I struggled to stay alive. Even though I had Divine Toll, but I was too focused on staying alive. Also, everyone else had interrupts, and with only one caster, we let it kill our healer. With no defensives and the healer dead, I died as well. Another attempt in Priory, I tried the route that the healer from the previous run suggested. This is how you shouldn't pull ads. I stumbled for a moment and didn't own the faraway mobs. I decided to try gathering the ads without bubble this time, and I got killed by back hits. I pretended like nothing happened and ran back. I didn't know that you rest with low mana, and for the first time I had mana issues. When I was at low HP, I'm pressing the Word of Glory, but nothing happens. At the end of the run, I get plus 7 Rio. In plus 14 streets, I learn about a new tongue buster from a regular ad. While I'm running and getting funnel for the boss, it just one-taps me. I try to run back as fast as possible, surprisingly no one else died. Well, every day I learned something new. Also I learned that you should never underestimate your enemies. With false more ads alive, I relaxed a little, but I had 3 stacks of a bleed on me, and they got me. We 2-time the key and I get plus 14 Rio. We only had 2 deaths and both were mine. A new reset happened and I hurried to open the vault. This time around I had gloves, and the other 2 slots were extremely terrible. So, another attempt in plus 14 Floodgate. We get to Big Mama boss. On the second set of ads, I was so busy trying to get threat on them. I didn't press a defensive for the tongue buster. I felt like shit after that. I didn't want to play. I let down a lot of people recently. But without mistakes, getting better isn't possible. Another attempt in Floodgate plus 14, I listed my own key. I was surprised to see augmentation the worker applying. I thought no one played dogs anymore. And just for fun, I decided to invite him. This time around, I respected all tongue busters. I'm tired of getting one tapped. And I actually did it. After a million depletes, with 4 minutes left on the timer, I get 16 Rio in Floodgate 14. I was still afraid of the Ecodome circles on the last boss. But when you're afraid to make a mistake, you already lost. After the time Floodgate, I got my confidence back. I also learned to outrange the frontals so that I don't get the debuff. With that, the sentinels seem very easy. On the last boss, I zoomed out as much as I could, and before the circles happened, I took a step back. And now, it seems very easy. I get 13 Rio. I go to Ara Kara plus 14 next. With a couple of minutes before the last boss, the rogue went back to repair his gear. We're just hitting the boss, holding Bloodlust while we wait for the rogue. After that, the rogue died 3 times and DH died once. And with that, we deplete the key. On the next attempt, the first boss, when I saw that the healer and hunter behind the boss, I knew that it will eat some spiders. I pinged. I tried to move away, but it was too late. I got a bit tilted and I was going to jump off not to waste time. But then I changed my mind and we got lucky that the boss died before we did. I get plus 10 Rio and Resilient plus 14 keys. And I'm 1 Rio short to get 3200. For this video I plan to get all plus 14s and 3200 Rio. To get 1 Rio I listed my Dawnbreaker plus 15. Something weird happened. The healer died on the first pull and then I started getting a lot of damage out of nowhere. I'm just running to the ship and losing 35% HP every 2 seconds. I was so confused. I just died from something invisible. I got up and while I was running back, I noticed the bolts that the ad next to the wall was just casting. It's crazy how the ad casted from so far away. With that ad bagged, we of course wiped. I got into another plus 15 and again the ad was bagged on the ship and was just casting bolts left and right. I listed my own plus 14 Dawnbreaker thinking that I could probably get 1 Rio with a good run. I watched a VOD on YouTube how to pull the ads on the ship efficiently, far away from the bugged ads. That way it was really easier. Also, I read about the bleed that one of the mobs applies and now I could finally play around it. I improved my timer in Dawnbreaker plus 14 and I got 2 Rio. I decided to not stop here and time at least 1 plus 15. Streets is where I go. I was framed by the shaman. He directed the charge through me. I got stunned, and with 2 million HP I had a split second to press Lay of Hands, but I didn't. Another deplete. I got into another plus 15 streets. This time I finally dragged the mobs away in this pool efficiently. It only took me a billion runs to perfect it, but I was very happy that this won't be an issue anymore. On the last boss I pinged every single teleport, but still the healer caught a wave and died. I had 3 CR charges ready to go. I wasn't going to wipe here. It was a great run. I would even call it clean. Only 2 deaths, and this is my first time plus 15. So, at the end of the day, I have 3214 Rio. I have Resilient plus 14 and 1 dungeon time at plus 15. What's next? To tell you the truth, I have no idea. I got to the point where it really is challenging to get Rio, but I will keep on pushing. The optimistic goal is to get plus 16 Resilient key, but we will see how it goes. Thank you for watching, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.